choir is the only live musical instrument of its kind. Its sound is based on voices, an ensemble of vocal unisons of performers. Choral singing is one of the oldest forms of musical art. Simple and unpretentious melodies and chants, as well as the most ancient examples of rock painting, were the first steps of ancient people in the aesthetic understanding of the world. History knows a great many documented examples of choral singing. Choirs performed in mysterious theaters in ancient Egypt and Babylon. The annals of ancient India describe choirs that involved dancing and instrumental music. The Old Testament mentions processions with choral singing in ancient Palestine. The choir was of paramount importance in ancient Greece. Moreover, it was one of the basic elements of ancient Greek education. Today, choral singing continues to bring delight and admiration, mesmerize, elevate, and instill a sense of beauty. It should come as no surprise that one of the national choral groups, the State Choral Chapel, named after Bakhjan Baykhadamov, is celebrating its 90th anniversary.
It's a team with a lot of baggage from the past. Founded back in 1935, it has existed for about a century and has an impressive history. Its first and foremost mission as a professional ensemble has always been to promote national choral music and professional choral art. There are certain things that are important for the development of good taste and skills in art, not just in the education of the youth, but of everyone. The State Choral Chapel has played a big role in this process and continues to do so.
Choral singing is a very spectacular art form. It touches the depth of the audience's emotions, igniting new thoughts about the lyrics of the songs and allowing them to experience the rhythms and melodies that soothe their souls.
Now there are many opportunities to develop the choir and attract the audience, because there are a huge number of genres. Even in Almaty, we have many concerts with the participation of choral groups. It may have been popular in the West for a while now, but we only have been actively developing private ensembles of this kind for about 5 to 7 years. Choral groups are involved in many projects nowadays. I can't even recall them all. There are soundtrack concerts organized by Dniprosto Orchestra and Tinda Music, and many other projects that involve choral groups. They popularize not only Kazakh music, but soundtracks from Hollywood movies and TV series. This is also an interesting direction and a great way to make choral music popular in Kazakhstan, and it has already become a normal occurrence.
Kazakhstan's choral art is evolving, constantly seeking out new forms and ways to express itself. Vocalists are always improving their skills. They are continually searching for themselves and hence often collaborate with different choral groups.
Collaboration among musicians has long been a healthy and common practice. I will refrain from using the word competition because there aren't many choral groups and professional choirs in general in Kazakhstan. The more groups, the better, because the existence of choral genre itself implies this sense of culture. It helps develop solid communication and social skills and create a sense of beauty.
The desire to sing is inherent in man at the deepest level and serves as a means of self-expression, because humans sing in both joy and sorrow. In this sense, choir is a union of emotions, and the voice is an instrument of their expression. Our nation has a very strong tradition of singing national songs. Everybody loves Kazakh folk songs, which are always melodic and harmonious.
Я считаю, казахская народная музыка, в данном случае песенность, да, песенная.
I believe that Kazakh folk music has been developing for years, and I can say that these songs have already been polished to perfection.
Уже видоизменялась, она превратилась, допустим.
Thanks to many performers who emerged from the crowd, amazing folk tunes by our great musicians such as Birjan, Jaya Musa, and many others have reached this day by word of mouth.
Здесь те же песни Биржана, Жаяу Мусы или еще кого-то из наших великих акынов, оно исполнялось из уста.
Some melodic motifs might be difficult even for professionals, but they were passed from generation to generation and found their right sound along the way.
В простонародье оно передавалось и пелось, и как бы
The melodies are beautiful and comfortable to sing, and I think they shouldn't be changed.
Удобную и уже красивую, и уже, я думаю, ее менять не стоит.
However, as time passes and inevitably leaves its mark on society, the perception of art changes, and this calls for new approaches to choral performance and music in general.
Hazır. Handargiyin gözüne dillere üz bolmadan Mollabaydın sözüne arşı büyük olmasın Bildim seni gülmeydin Şımıralı olmasa şiydin seni gülmeydin Egeski javun balık ay yerdim seni bilmeydin Kızılcası giyinmeyi kızın seni gülmeydin Kız buzbalaşı yılmayın şırdım seni gülmeydin Mollabaydın elinde Vaslay kıldan eksalsam Donduramın senide
Я использую различные ритмические организации, различную
I
гармонию.
use different rhythmic patterns, different harmony, often going from simple to complex harmonies and incorporating jazz chords.
Я оставляю какая она есть.
However, I do not change the melody of the original folk song. I leave it as it is.
Аккомпанементом, каким-то ритмом дополняю, чтобы это было интересно.
Simply adding some rhythm and embellishing it with accompaniment makes it engaging for young people today. These arrangements suit their musical preferences and modern pace of life. For this reason, I believe that this direction of art should continue to grow. The folk song arrangements get embellished and take on various shapes, but the melody never changes.
Формы, но мелодика остается.
Choir deservedly holds the title of the most democratic art form, because even non-professional singers can practice group vocals.
Допустим, человека, чтобы научить или обучить играть на
It's difficult to teach or train a person to play a musical instrument. Learning to play the piano, violin, or any wind instrument takes a lot of time, at least 5 years, sometimes even decades. Singing, on the other hand, can be taught considerably more quickly, and a person may start to feel the music much more quickly. Sometimes people want to sing but don't have the opportunity. They might think that without professional background in music, there is no chance for them to sing. However, some people can have an ear for music and sing perfectly well. They can easily become a member of one of the choral groups where they can develop their skills further.
Процесс идет быстрее. Я считаю так.
Today, there are several choral groups in Kazakhstan. There are choirs in opera theaters and philharmonics. There are private and state choirs, academic and folk choirs. Not so long ago, Turum Alaguzov established a chamber choir. Over the course of his artistic career, Turum has formed multiple choirs.
Let me explain a little what chamber choir and chamber music in general means. First of all, in translation, the word chamber means room. And chamber music started to be played in salons in the 14th century. Back then, professional music was not performed for the public. It was only meant for the chosen audience, such as kings and czars. And such performances, of course, were held in small rooms, salons, which affected the composition of the ensemble. That is why only soloists, small ensembles and orchestras consisting of 15 to 20 people performed in chamber settings.
This small size has a positive effect on the mobility of the choir. It is much faster and less expensive to organize tours or performances with a relatively small group of singers.
I believe that the fact that our group is so young sets it apart from others. Although we are just 8 months old, we are the fifth of Kazakhstan's 5 chamber choirs. The oldest is the Aktubey chamber choir, and we're the youngest in this respect. Our choir consists of students and graduates of the conservatory.
Throughout his career, Turum Alaguzov has always been involved with choir, creating various ensembles, writing music for choral performances. He has won awards at choral festivals in Riga, Moscow, Aktobe, and Almaty. One of his most notable accomplishments is creating a song festival in the 1980s, where up to 4,000 people sang in the choir simultaneously. A specialist with such a wealth of knowledge about choral art is particularly reverent about the repertoire and vocal tasks of the choir.
We pay a lot of attention to vocal work now. As for the repertoire, due to the fact that our chamber choir is just at the beginning of its journey, we are now including works from different eras. There are both foreign and national songs, compositions created by our great talents from the 20th century, but also by modern young composers. It's important for choir members to get used to different styles and directions. That is a wide range of work, given that they are more or less professionally trained.
The fate of Turum Alaguzov directed him to art not by the simplest and easiest way. Once in his childhood, the little wiggle worm jumped from a high hill into the river, but landed in the sand instead of the water. For 3 long years he was bedridden and unable to move. All the dreams of an 8-year-old boy about sea adventures remained just a fantasy. But his love of music helped him because he could sing while he was lying in bed. According to the musician himself, children are always clearly aware of their gift. It lies in the area of their greatest interest. The rest is a matter of hard work and diligence. Talent or gift requires constant work. Furthermore, it is crucial to pay as much attention as possible to the special role that art plays in shaping the worldview, morals, and spirituality of the young generation.
A well-educated and cultural individual will never engage in corruptive deeds, unethical or illegal activities. A person's knowledge and culture always define their standing. An educated person cannot violate any laws because they are spiritually inclined towards righteousness, light. They believe in good, respect traditions and elders. And respect for our people is especially significant. Respect for children is also important because they are the future. In other words, education and culture have a significant influence on our people's moral character.
От образования и от культуры.